What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video, and I wasn't really expecting to make a video on this topic, but I'm gonna now because it seems like everybody is either okay with this or just really ticked off. Check out Twitter and you'll see what I mean. Boy, I thought that this was a minor transaction, but Martin Marincin has signed a one-year contract extension with the Toronto Maple Leafs for basically league min at $700,000, and Twitter blew up. And again, the Leafs have a big fan base. I'm a Leaf fan. I see it every single day. There's a really weird side to Leafs Twitter and the fan base. There's like a neutral side, and then there's people that just, generally know what they're talking about and actually, look into analytics and try to focus on both sides. And again, in this video, there's no disrespect going towards anybody in this video, and I would urge you, if you're going to comment right away, please just watch the video first. I promise you I'm looking at both sides of this, and I'm going to be giving an objective opinion, trying to look at both sides here, because I'm going to say some things that probably make a lot of sense. Some people may not like it, but again, it's going to be my opinion, but I am going to look at both sides, and I promise you that I'm sure I'm going to touch on some stuff that you're going to be questioning in the comments, so please just give it a chance here. So like I said, Marincin's deal is 1 year at $700,000. The Leafs defense next year doesn't exactly have a ton of bodies on it. Currently, Morgan Rielly's under contract, Justin Holl, who signed a deal, and Martin Marincin. Those are the three guys right now. But I need to stress this to everybody, and I will get to it in a second. The Leafs cap situation will allow them to re-sign whoever they need to re-sign. Some people, again, they're going off their rocker here looking at their cap friendly, but they can get it done, and they will. They can and they will. Kyle Dubas has said it before. And like I said, we'll get to it. But I need to say this right off the bat. Marincin is a depth defenseman. He is a number 7 guy, number 8 guy, whatever you want to look at it, that next year, if the Leafs don't want to utilize him, first of all, he could probably get traded to a team for just about nothing, like a 6th round or 7th round pick. Like, there's teams that could use an extra body if the Leafs don't need him, which honestly I think they should keep him, at least to play with the Marlies, and that's my second point. He was pretty good with the Marlies, and he can actually kill penalties at the NHL level. Is he elite? No. Is he good? Not really. Is he above average for killing penalties? Yeah, he kind of is. And just to let you know, that money that the Leafs paid him, that $700,000, can be buried in the minors. The NHL allows you to, I believe it's just over $1 million. I think it's like $1.3 million that you can bury in the minors. So that Marincin $700K vanishes off the cap and is in the minor league system. You're allowed to bury that contract there. So essentially, the Leafs aren't paying nothing for Marincin unless they use him at the NHL level, which next year they probably won't. And I actually tweeted something similar like earlier, and it actually got some decent numbers because I think a lot of people agreed with me, even though there were some comments down below of the tweet that they didn't agree. And I actually left out Dermott's name, which is ridiculous. I completely forgot, even though I love Travis Dermott, great guy, great hockey player. But the Leafs aren't going to be using Marincin next year because of the names that are going to be coming up onto this team and the names that are already on this team. Now, here's the reason why I'm mentioning this right now, and then I'll mention it again later because I'll go deeper into their cap stuff. Morgan Rielly, of course, has a contract for next year and the year after that. Justin Holl, like I said, just got his extension. He'll be paid $2 million next year. And then, of course, the Marincin deal. But Rasmus Sandin, who will be on his entry-level contract, and Timothy Liljegren will probably both be up with the team next year. And I use probably loosely because they will be on the team next year. It's just a matter of what kind of role they play and if they're getting full-on minutes. Sandin will 1,000,000% be on the team. He might even get a look right now, like as we're speaking, he still might get a look. And Timothy Liljegren has made a bunch of progress, and people who don't watch the Marlies or don't keep up with them or look at their statistics say, oh, well, he's a bust. I honestly don't know what to say to those people. Keep in mind, people are stressing out about all these guys the Leafs have to sign, and I get that comment all the time, and people just completely ignore my response. But a lot of the guys that the Leafs have to re-sign are guys that are going to end up on the Marlies, and they're going to be on two-way deals or whatever, and the contracts are not going to be big deals. The Leafs have basically all their big names locked up except for their blue line. Travis Dermott is not getting a monster extension. He's going to end up getting a deal similar to Justin Hall's, probably more money, but at the same time, it might be on a shorter term. The Leafs might look to have him on a bridge deal of 2 years, just based off the fact that he also might want that because of his injury trouble. He might want to at least boost up that value a little bit more, and then when the Leafs have a little bit more money, he can cash in for a bigger payday, which is something that I think will happen, and I don't expect him to get more than $3 million anyways, even on that bridge deal or whatever. Justin Hall got $2 million, and if you look into his numbers, he's actually been very effective for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But again, we're going to look into that later. Back to Marincin. That $700,000, like I said, could get traded, could get buried in the minors, and he could be the 7th defenseman for this team, which is completely fine. But I think a lot of people are not looking at some of the good that Marincin has done. They're always looking at the bad. And sure, I don't think Marincin's some elite puck-moving defenseman. I don't think he's elite at defending. I don't think he's good at, I don't think he's great at anything. But I do believe that he's at least good at, in his position of being a guy that gets tossed in there every once in a while. And again, the only reason he's playing right now is because of injury. People forget that Jake Muzzin exists. When Muzzin comes back, Marincin's ass is out of the lineup. That's just a fact. And I don't believe that the Leafs are done making a trade either. I do believe that there's something else coming. And I'm not some rumor guy that has intel, but I do believe that there's other moves that could be made. Marincin is a serviceable guy to be a depth defenseman who's not going to play a lot. I did say in my tweet that he can kill penalties, and he did do well for the Marlies. Now, I'm going to bring up another stat that I want you guys to see on the screen right now. It's like a stat, and then there's also some numbers when it comes to a contract. So the first tweet that I'm going to read to you guys is something that I actually thought was crazy because I didn't actually think this was possible. Corsi HL said, obviously a small sample size, but the Marincin Hall pairing has only been on the ice for one 5-on-5 goal against in the past 5 games since Muzzin got hurt. Pretty solid from an XGA perspective as well. That's a goals against stat. Like you guys can look into those stats if you want to. But this was tweeted on the 8th, so they've obviously had a game since then. But Marincin and Hall, that pairing didn't do too bad. On even strength play, they were only on the ice for 1 goal against. And there's been a lot of people complaining under this tweet, oh, look at the competition they played, this, that, and the other. They've played against a lot of really good talent. You can literally do this yourself and look it up if you don't believe anybody. But they actually played against some pretty tough competition. Justin Hall's been getting a lot of minutes. Of course, Marincin's been bumped down since then, but again, he's not like this the worst defenseman in the league like everybody thinks he is. And again, I'm going to say, I don't believe that Marincin is a great defenseman. I just think he's a little bit above average than, most players. And I want most players in terms of what he's getting paid. Again, don't twist that. I do believe that he's not fantastic. I don't think he's great, but I do believe at what the role he's doing, he's not doing a bad job at it. So Jeff Viette has a tweet here that you guys can see now. Put another way, he had another tweet here. Here are the non-ELC defensemen, non-entry-level contract defensemen, playing at $700,000. UFA deals this season. You guys can see them. Shen, Stone, Weber, Irwin, Simic, Beteto. Hopefully I'm saying these names right. Marincin's not great, but he's definitely better than those guys, so it's a good deal in my books. And before people start pretending like they're fans of guys in this list, and if you are, my apologies, but none of these guys are actually good. Let's be real here. And funny, Jeff Viette actually good. An inside joke everybody knows. But people are going to immediately look at Luke Shen. Luke Shen's had spots in his career where he's looked good. And by the way, if you're not aware, Luke Shen was a Maple Leaf at one point. But Luke Shen is not good. Look at all their numbers. These guys are not good. So Marincin is getting paid around what he should be. And a lot of the guys that are on this list, I would rather have Marincin than probably all of them. And don't say, oh, the tough factor. Marincin's brought in just to kill penalties and to be a guy that can fill in every once in a while. Case in point, that's it. Honestly, again, you can have your opinion, but look at these guys on this list and tell me that the Leafs need to go out there and do something else. So getting to the thing that people are also stressing about, their cap situation and the fact that, oh, they don't have enough money to be giving Marincin $700,000. Actually, they do. So I'm on Cap Friendly right now, and currently they've used, projected cap space, for next season should be around $13 million. And with the cap increase, they're saying it could be a big one, but I believe it'll just be around $2 million. So let's just say they have around 15.9, just under $16 million in cap space. These are the guys that they need to re-sign. So restricted free agents, Pierre Engvall. He's going to get a bit of a raise, but again, it's nothing crazy. Like, this guy's going to be on a bridge deal under $2 million, if that. I can't see him getting some significant raise, and it would likely be a bridge deal. Mason Marchment's not going to get some big contract. He's a depth piece for the Toronto Marlies and a depth piece for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam Brooks, another guy who's not going to get some big contract, another depth piece. Jason Spezza, who might retire. The guy is probably not going to be a Leaf again next year. Dmytro Timashov, a guy who's been in trade rumors. If he stays with the Leafs, it's going to be another dirt cheap contract that will be on the Marlies like most of these guys. Frederic Gauthier, a guy who's also not going to get a significant raise. Well, technically, he's being paid $675,000. If he goes to $900K, that's good for him. It'll be under $1 million. Again, a lot of these contracts are not a big deal. And then we get to some of the big ones. Cody Ceci. I can see him getting traded before this trade deadline. I don't believe the Leafs are going to give him any sort of extension. They want that money to focus on better defensemen and some of their younger guys that they'd like to keep around, like a Pierre Engvall and a Mikheyev, who also will need a contract. Jake Muzzin, they'll decide whether or not they want to keep him or Tyson Barrie. The Leafs will want one or the other, or they might not get either of them. Keep in mind, there is some defensemen that will be free agents this year that the Leafs might be interested in, and they can fill holes around a big name like a Pietrangelo or somebody else, which is possible. Like I mentioned, Tyson Barrie. The only other thing I can see with Tyson Barrie and Muzzin staying around, is if Barrie is convinced to take a one-year deal to try to regain his value, because Babcock depleted it at the beginning of the season, but he's since regained a lot of his value under Sheldon Keefe, so we'll have to see if that's a possibility. And then, like I mentioned before, Travis Dermott, he's a restricted free agent. He's not going to get paid a bunch of money. It'll be a bridge deal, and it'll be under $3 million. Michael Hutchinson is a UFA. If the Leafs want to keep him around, he'll be cheap, or they go and just get another cheap backup, which is something that they might do. Nathan Horton and David Clarkson will be coming off of LTIR, and Ilya Mikheyev will be an RFA, which he would probably get a decent raise. But again, he's been injured. Kyle Dubas has showed him a lot of love, sticking around with him while he was hurt. But again, he's not going to get some big, humongous contract. He has been hurt, and he's not going to be back until playoff time. He might not even play again this year. So he might be a guy that takes a 1 or 2 year bridge contract just to regain some of that value. The Leafs are probably in a really good position to keep a lot of these guys while also upgrading in the offseason. Marincin has absolutely nothing to do with any of their cap structure. He is not going to affect it whatsoever. So I don't understand this big, fight on Twitter regarding, oh my God, what are we going to do? Marincin's taking up so much money. Guys, it's $700,000. I would love that money, don't get me wrong. But for a defenseman, a depth one, a seventh guy, it's ridiculous. Keep in mind, I also believe one of Johnsson, Kerfoot, or Kapanen will be traded for a defenseman as well. So keep that in mind when it comes to the money. There'll be money out, but money coming back in. But it'll be somebody that will help out on that blue line. And like I said too, I kind of think Cody Ceci could get traded. That's $4.5 million this season that the Leafs could allot to a better defenseman and make on a go on a good run, or maybe call up Sandin. There's options. But guys, stop stressing out about little things. Leaf Nation, you guys are freaking out for no reason. It's a $700,000 contract for a guy who's going to be sitting in the press box or playing for the Toronto Marlies next year without it even counting towards the cap. This video is way too long. I can't believe this type of video made it this long. My dog's barking in the background. She's also telling me to shut up. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.